The shovel scraped against frozen asphalt at 5:30 in the morning, and Vincent Reeves told himself he was doing this for the money he desperately needed. Not because the woman who lived in the pristine colonial had smiled at him exactly once 3 weeks ago, and it had somehow lodged itself in his chest like a splinter he couldn't remove. The February storm had dumped 14 inches overnight, and Vincent had been up since 4, clearing driveways in the wealthy neighborhood on the hill, the same neighborhood where he used to deliver furniture before the company went under. His shoulders burned and his fingers felt numb even through his work gloves, but he kept the rhythm steady, pushing the snow in clean lines toward the street. His daughter Emma needed new shoes. The ones she wore now pinched her toes, though she hadn't complained. She never complained. At 7 years old, she seemed to understand their situation better than most adults, which broke his heart more than he cared to admit. He had almost finished the long driveway when the porch light flicked on. Vincent froze, squinting against the sudden brightness. The front door opened, and there she was. Olivia Chen wore a charcoal business suit despite the early hour, her dark hair pulled back in a neat bun that somehow made her look both severe and beautiful. She stood in the doorway holding a travel mug, her expression unreadable. "I didn't hire anyone to clear my driveway," she said. Her voice was crisp, professional, the kind that probably commanded boardrooms without effort. Vincent straightened, feeling suddenly self-conscious about his threadbare coat and the hole in his right glove. "I know, I'm sorry. I should have knocked first. I just thought you might need to get to work, and the plows won't reach the hill until noon, so I figured I would do it, and if you wanted to pay me, that would be fine, and if not, that's fine too." He was rambling. He never rambled. But something about her direct gaze made him nervous in a way he hadn't felt since high school. Olivia tilted her head slightly, studying him. "You're that man from the coffee shop. 2 weeks ago, you paid for the family behind you in line." Vincent remembered. A harried mother with 3 kids, all of them cold and tired. He had been buying Emma her monthly hot chocolate treat, and something about the woman's exhausted eyes had reminded him of his late wife during her worst days. So he had paid. It had meant no hot chocolate for Emma that day, but she had understood. "Just seemed like they needed it," he said. "And now you're clearing snow from strangers' driveways at dawn." "Not strangers. I know which houses have people who need to get to work early. Doctors, executives, people with important jobs. I start at 4 and work my way up the hill." "How much do you charge?" Vincent hadn't actually thought that far ahead for her driveway specifically. $30, or whatever you think is fair." Olivia disappeared inside. Vincent exhaled, his breath forming clouds in the frozen air. He had probably overstepped. Rich people were funny about their space, about unsolicited help. He finished the last section of driveway, making sure the path to her garage was completely clear. The door opened again. Olivia walked out in tall boots, navigating the cleared path with care. She handed him 5 $20 bills. "That's too much," Vincent said immediately. "It's what your work is worth. You did excellent work and you started before sunrise. That deserves fair compensation." She paused, looking at him more carefully. "What's your name?" "Vincent Reeves." "Olivia Chen." She extended her hand. Her grip was firm, businesslike, but her skin was warm against his cold palm. "Do you do this every time it snows, when I can?" "I've got other work during the day, but snow days mean extra money." "What kind of other work?" He wasn't sure why she was asking, but something in her tone suggested genuine curiosity rather than polite small talk. "Whatever I can find." "Handyman jobs, moving furniture, some construction when it's available. I'm good with my hands and I'll work any honest job." "And you have a family?" "A daughter, Emma. She's 7. His voice softened automatically when he said her name. Olivia nodded slowly. "Well, Vincent Reeves, if you're available, I'd like to hire you for regular snow removal this winter. I'll pay you $100 per storm, and I want it cleared by 6:30 when possible." Vincent blinked. "That's way more than the going rate." "I'm aware." I'm also aware that reliable, trustworthy people who take initiative are rare. Consider it a retainer. Do you have a card? He almost laughed. A card, as if he had business cards. I can give you my phone number. She pulled out her phone, the latest model, and typed as he recited the digits. I'll text you so you have mine as well. I travel frequently for work, but when I'm home, I need to be able to leave early without worrying about getting stuck. What kind of work do you do? The question was out before he could stop himself. I run a company, she said simply. Technology sector. It keeps me busy. That was clearly all she was going to offer. Vincent nodded, pocketing the money carefully. Thank you, Miss Chen. I won't let you down. Olivia is fine. She glanced at her watch, an elegant silver piece that probably cost more than his truck. I need to go. But Vincent, one more thing. Yes, you should charge more for all your jobs. You're underselling yourself. Before he could respond, she was walking to her garage. The door rolled up smoothly, revealing a sleek black Tesla. She backed out with practiced ease, gave him a brief nod, and disappeared down the hill. Vincent stood in the empty driveway, holding $100 he hadn't expected and feeling like something significant had just happened, though he couldn't quite name what. Emma was awake when he got home to their small rental, sitting at the kitchen table with a coloring book. His mother, Deanne, was making oatmeal at the stove. Daddy. Emma jumped up and ran to him, and he caught her in a hug that warmed him more than any amount of coffee could. Hey, Munchkin. You're up early. Grandma said we might go to the library today if the roads are okay. The roads will be fine by afternoon, he assured her, kissing the top of her head. She smelled like the lavender shampoo they bought from the dollar store. And guess what? Daddy made good money this morning, so we can stop by the shoe store too. Emma's eyes widened. Really? New shoes? Really? Those ones are getting too small, right? She nodded vigorously. But I didn't want to say because I know money is tight. Vincent's heart clenched. Hey. You always tell me if something doesn't fit or if you need something, okay? That's my job. I'm your dad. Taking care of you is the most important thing in the world. Okay, she said quietly. Deanne brought over 2 bowls of oatmeal, her weathered face creased with affection. At 62, she was still sharp and energetic, thank God. Vincent didn't know what he would do without her help. She had moved in 6 months after Sarah died, when it became clear he couldn't manage work and childcare alone. Good morning, she asked. Good morning. Got a regular client, actually. Lady on Hampton Drive wants me to clear her driveway all winter. Hampton Drive, Deanne repeated, impressed. That's old money up there. New money, I think. She's young, runs some tech company. Deanne raised an eyebrow. Pretty? Mom, I'm just asking. Yes, she's pretty. She's also way out of my league and clearly focused on her career. She hired me to shovel snow, not to date her. I didn't say anything about dating. Emma giggled into her oatmeal. Grandma's doing her matchmaker face. I don't have a matchmaker face, Deanne protested, but she was smiling. Vincent ate his breakfast and tried not to think about Olivia Chen's direct gaze or the way she had looked at him like he was worth more than he charged. He had learned not to get his hopes up about anything, especially not beautiful women in expensive suits who lived in houses he could never afford. The next snowstorm came 4 days later, lighter than the first, but still enough to require clearing. Vincent was on Olivia's driveway by 5:15, working by the light of his truck's headlights and a battery-powered lantern. He had the routine down now, starting with the garage apron and working his way out in sections. This time when the porch light came on, he was expecting it. Olivia emerged in running gear, dark leggings and a fitted jacket, her hair in a high ponytail. Good morning, she called. Morning, sorry if I woke you. You didn't. I run at 5:30 most days. She stretched against the porch railing, and Vincent quickly returned his attention to the shovel. How's your daughter? The question surprised him. She's good. We got her new shoes. She picked these light-up sneakers that she loves. Light-up shoes are important at 7. There was amusement in Olivia's voice. Critical, Vincent agreed. He paused, leaning on the shovel. Can I ask you something? Go ahead. Why did you remember me? From the coffee shop. Olivia finished her stretch and stepped off the porch, walking carefully through the section he had already cleared. Do you really want to know? I wouldn't ask if I didn't. Because you looked at that mother and her children like they mattered, not with pity, with empathy. And then you did something about it without making a show of it. You didn't tell the barista loudly that you were paying. You just quietly handled it and left. That kind of quiet integrity is rare. Vincent didn't know what to say to that. He had never thought of himself as having integrity. He was just trying to get through each day, to be a good father, to keep his head above water. I should let you finish, Olivia said. I need to start my run before I have to get ready for work. Right, sorry to keep you. Vincent. She waited until he looked at her. You don't have to apologize so much. You're not inconveniencing me. She jogged off down the street before he could respond, her breath creating rhythmic puffs of vapor in the cold air. Vincent watched her go for a moment, then shook his head and got back to work. He was reading too much into simple kindness. She was being a good employer, nothing more, but when he checked his phone later, there was a text from her number. Thank you for the excellent work. Coffee is on the porch, still hot. Thought you might need it, Olivia. He looked up. Sure enough, there was a travel mug sitting on the railing, steam rising from the small opening in the lid. Vincent climbed the porch steps and picked it up. It was good coffee, really good, the kind that tasted like it came from actual beans instead of a can. He stood there in the pre-dawn darkness, drinking coffee a beautiful woman had left him, and let himself feel something dangerously close to hope. February turned into March. Vincent cleared Olivia's driveway 7 more times, and each time there was coffee waiting and occasionally a text asking about Emma or mentioning something funny she had heard on the radio. The messages were brief, professional, but there was a warmth to them that made Vincent read them multiple times. They didn't see each other much. Olivia's schedule was demanding, and Vincent was working every job he could find. But he found himself thinking about her at odd moments, remembering the way she moved with such purpose, the way she asked questions like she genuinely cared about the answers. He told himself he was being ridiculous. She was a CEO. He was a handyman who lived paycheck to paycheck. They existed in completely different worlds. Then March 20th arrived, and everything changed. Vincent was replacing a fence post at a house 2 blocks from Olivia's when he saw her car pull into her driveway. It was 2:30 in the afternoon, which was unusual. She was always gone before 7 and rarely home before 6. He kept working, but 10 minutes later, his phone rang with an unknown number. Hello, Vincent, it's Olivia Chen. Her voice sounded strained. Is everything okay? I hate to ask this, but do you know anything about water heaters? Mine just started making terrible noises, and now there's water on my basement floor. I'll be right there. He told his client he had an emergency, promised to finish the fence that evening, and drove to Olivia's house. She met him at the door looking frazzled, a rare crack in her composed exterior. Thank you for coming so quickly. I called a plumber, but they can't get here until tomorrow. Let me take a look. The basement was finished and expensive-looking, with thick carpet and recessed lighting. Water pooled near the water heater in the utility room. Vincent grabbed his toolbox from the truck and got to work, shutting off the main valve first to stop the leak. It's your pressure relief valve, he said after examining it. The whole unit is pretty old. When was it installed? I don't know. I bought the house last year. Vincent checked the label. 13 years. You're past the typical lifespan. I can replace the valve and that will stop the immediate leak, but you're going to want to replace the whole unit soon. Can you do that? Replace the valve or replace the unit? Both. Either, whichever you recommend. Vincent stood up, wiping his hands on his work pants. I can do it, but Olivia, this is a big job. A new water heater with installation, you're looking at least $1,500 for parts and labor. You should get quotes from real plumbers. You are a real plumber, aren't you? I'm handy. I've installed water heaters before, but I'm not licensed. But you know what you're doing. Yes. Then I want you to do it. I trust you. Those 4 words hit him harder than they should have. Okay, I can get the parts tomorrow and install it this weekend if that works for you. Perfect. Do you need money up front? Usually I'd say yes, but I can float it for a few days. Olivia shook her head. Give me the total estimate and I'll Venmo you right now. I don't want you out of pocket on my account. They went upstairs, and Vincent wrote out a detailed estimate on a piece of paper from her kitchen notepad. Her kitchen was stunning, all white cabinets and marble countertops with professional-grade appliances. He tried not to feel out of place in his dirty work clothes. $1,400, he said. That's the high end, might come in cheaper. Olivia pulled up her phone and sent the money without hesitation. Done. Do you want something to drink? I just made iced tea. I should get back to the fence. Vincent, sit for 5 minutes. You just drove over here on your afternoon to help me. The least I can do is give you a glass of tea. He sat at her kitchen island, feeling awkward and hyper-aware of everything. The way she moved around the kitchen with easy grace, the light catching in her hair, the subtle scent of her perfume. She poured 2 glasses of tea and sat across from him. How's Emma? She asked. Good. She lost her first tooth last week, very excited about the tooth fairy. What's the going rate for teeth these days? I did $5. My mom said that was too much, but Emma's face was worth it. Olivia smiled, a real smile that reached her eyes. You're a good father. I try. She's my whole world. What about you? Do you have time for yourself? Vincent shrugged. Not really, but that's okay. She's only 7 once. I'll have time for myself when she's older. That's admirable, but you matter too. When was the last time you did something just for you? He couldn't remember. Since Sarah died 3 years ago, his entire existence had been work and Emma. There wasn't room for anything else. It's not about me, he said finally. Maybe it should be, at least sometimes. Their eyes met across the marble island, and something passed between them, some recognition or understanding that Vincent felt in his chest. Olivia broke the gaze first, taking a sip of her tea. I'm sorry, I'm overstepping. It's not my business. No, you're probably right. I just don't know how to do it differently. One small thing, Olivia said. Start with one small thing you enjoy and make time for it, even if it's just half an hour a week. What's your small thing? Running and cooking when I have time both clear my head. I used to like woodworking. Building things. Haven't done it in years. So start again, even just little projects. Vincent found himself nodding. Maybe I will. He finished his tea and stood to leave. Olivia walked him to the door, and on impulse he turned back. Can I ask you something? Always. Why are you being so nice to me? I'm not complaining, I'm just trying to understand. Olivia was quiet for a long moment. Honestly, because you're the first person in a long time who seems genuine. My world is full of people who want something from me. Money, connections, opportunities. You just want to do good work and take care of your daughter. It's refreshing. I'm not special, Vincent said. Yes, you are. You just don't see it. He left before he could do something stupid like ask her to dinner or tell her that he thought about her more than he should. He had nothing to offer someone like Olivia Chen. But as he drove back to finish the fence, he couldn't stop thinking about the way she had looked at him, like he was worth something more than just his labor. Saturday morning, Vincent arrived at Olivia's house at 8 with the new water heater loaded in his truck. Emma was with Deanne at the library, giving him a clear morning to work. He had expected Olivia to be out, doing whatever successful CEOs did on weekends, but she answered the door in jeans and a casual sweater, her hair loose around her shoulders. She looked younger this way, more approachable. Morning, she said. I made coffee and breakfast. You should eat before you start. You didn't have to do that. I know, but I'm making you work on a Saturday, and you skipped dinner yesterday to finish that fence, so humor me. The kitchen smelled incredible. Olivia had made French toast, eggs, and bacon. Real bacon, thick cut and perfectly crispy. Vincent's stomach growled audibly. Sit, she commanded, and he obeyed. They ate together at her kitchen table, and it felt strange and comfortable and domestic in a way that made Vincent's chest tight. Olivia asked about Emma, and he found himself telling stories. How Emma had tried to convince him that ice cream was a vegetable because it came from cows who ate grass. How she had started writing her own stories about a princess who fought dragons with science. "She sounds brilliant," Olivia said. "She is. Gets that from her mother. Sarah was the smart one." Vincent set down his fork. "She died 3 years ago, cancer. It was fast. I'm so sorry." "Thank you. It's been hard, but we're managing. Emma was 4 when it happened." "She remembers Sarah, which I'm grateful for, but sometimes I worry it's not enough, that she needs a mother and I can't be both." "You're doing an amazing job from what I can see. You've never even met her." "No, but I see how you talk about her, how you prioritize her. How you work yourself to exhaustion to give her what she needs. That's love. That's what matters." Vincent looked at Olivia across the table, this successful, beautiful woman who should have nothing in common with him, and felt something shift. He was falling for her. Had been falling since that first morning in the driveway, and it was going to hurt like hell when reality reasserted itself. "I should start on the water heater," he said, standing abruptly. If Olivia noticed the sudden shift, she didn't comment. "Of course. Let me know if you need anything." The installation took 4 hours. It would have been faster with a helper, but Vincent managed. Olivia checked on him periodically, bringing water and at one point insisting he stop for a sandwich. She sat on the basement steps while he worked, asking questions about the process, genuinely interested in how everything functioned. "You really love this," she observed. "Building things, fixing things." "Yeah, always have." "There's something satisfying about taking something broken and making it work again." "Have you ever thought about starting your own business? Formal handyman service?" Vincent laughed without humor. "With what capital? I'm barely covering rent and groceries." "There are small business loans, grants for entrepreneurs." "I don't have time to write business plans or navigate paperwork. I need money now, not in 6 months after some loan officer decides I'm a good bet." "What if someone invested in you?" He looked up from the pipe he was connecting. "Olivia, I can't take money from you." "I wasn't offering charity. I was thinking about an actual business investment. You're skilled, reliable, and trustworthy. Those are the qualities I look for in any investment." "No," the word came out harder than he intended. "I appreciate it, really. But I can't be some project for you, some good deed. I need to do this on my own." Olivia stood up from the steps. "That's not what I meant." "Maybe not, but that's how it would feel. I'm not some struggling guy you need to rescue." "I never said you were." "Then why offer?" "Because I see potential. Because helping people succeed is not the same as rescuing them." They stared at each other across the basement, tension crackling in the air. Vincent forced himself to take a breath, to calm down. She was trying to be kind, and he was being defensive because his pride was getting in the way. "I'm sorry," he said finally. "That was rude. You're trying to help and I snapped at you." "No, I pushed too hard. I have a tendency to solve problems, and sometimes I forget that not everyone wants their problems solved. It's not that, it's just complicated." "I understand." Olivia moved toward the stairs. "I'll let you finish." She left, and Vincent felt like an idiot. He finished the installation, tested everything twice, and cleaned up his workspace. When he went upstairs, Olivia was in her living room with a laptop, working. "All set," he said. "You've got hot water, no leaks, and it should run smoothly for the next 10 to 15 years. "Thank you." She closed the laptop and stood. "What do I owe you? We already settled up." "That was just parts. What about labor, included?" "Vincent." "Olivia, you fed me twice and sat with me while I worked. We're square." She crossed her arms. "That's not how business works." "Maybe not. But it's how friendships work, and I'd like to think we're becoming friends." Her expression softened. "We are, but friends don't take advantage of each other's skills without compensation." "Fine. You can take me to dinner." The words were out before he could stop them, brave and terrifying. Olivia's eyebrows rose. "To dinner? As payment for the labor, one dinner will go somewhere cheap, don't worry. What if I want to go somewhere expensive? Vincent's heart was pounding. Then I guess I'll learn which fork to use. Olivia smiled, slow and genuine. Okay, dinner. But it's a date, not payment. A date. That's what it's called when two adults who are interested in each other go out to eat together. Or has it been so long you've forgotten? I haven't dated since Sarah. I haven't dated in 2 years, so we'll both be rusty. She pulled out her phone. What night works for you? I need to arrange childcare. Bring Emma, Vincent blinked. What? Bring Emma, I'd like to meet her and it takes pressure off if it's the 3 of us. We can go somewhere fun, kid-friendly. What does she like? Everything, she's 7. Italian. Perfect. Friday night, 6 o'clock? Friday works. Olivia texted him the restaurant name and address. It's a date then, all 3 of us. Vincent left in a daze. He had just asked Olivia Chen on a date. She had said yes, and somehow, impossibly, she wanted to meet Emma. He drove home trying to process what had just happened and completely failing. Deanne took one look at his face when he walked in and started laughing. You finally asked her out. How did you know I was going to? Because you've been mooning over her for 6 weeks. I'm glad you finally grew a spine. She wants to meet Emma. Smart woman. She knows your daughter is part of the package. Emma looked up from her coloring book. Who wants to meet me? Vincent sat down next to her. Remember I told you about the nice lady whose driveway I clear and who I did the water heater for, the pretty one. I never said she was pretty. Grandma did. Vincent shot his mother a look. Deanne smiled innocently. Anyway, he continued, her name is Olivia and she asked if we want to go to dinner with her Friday night. Would you like that? Emma's eyes went wide. Like a date, sort of. Are you going to marry her? We're just having dinner. But you like her. There was no point in lying to a 7-year-old who could read him better than anyone. Yeah, I like her, but that doesn't mean anything big is going to happen. We're just getting to know each other. Okay, can I wear my new dress, the blue one? You can wear whatever you want. Emma threw her arms around his neck. I hope she's nice, Daddy. She is, Munchkin. She really is. Friday arrived faster than Vincent expected. He was nervous in a way he hadn't felt in years, changing his shirt 3 times before settling on a simple button-down that Emma declared made him look handsome. Emma wore her blue dress and the light-up sneakers, insisting the shoes made the outfit perfect. The restaurant was in downtown, a casual Italian place with checkered tablecloths and breadsticks on the tables. Olivia was already there, sitting in a booth and looking at her phone. She wore a simple green dress and minimal jewelry, her hair down and slightly wavy. She looked beautiful and normal and approachable. She stood when she saw them, and her smile was genuine. You must be Emma. Emma suddenly went shy, hiding slightly behind Vincent's leg. Hi. I've heard so much about you. Your dad says you're an excellent storyteller. I write stories about Princess Sophia. She fights dragons. That sounds amazing. Maybe you can tell me about her at dinner. They slid into the booth, Emma between Vincent and Olivia. The initial awkwardness melted quickly. Olivia was wonderful with Emma, asking questions without talking down to her, laughing at her stories, and genuinely engaging. Emma bloomed under the attention, chattering about school and her friends and the chapter book she was reading. Vincent watched them interact and felt something dangerous and wonderful taking root in his chest. This could work. Maybe, impossibly, this could actually work. What does your company do? Emma asked Olivia during a lull in conversation. We make software that helps hospitals keep track of patients and medicines. It's kind of complicated, but basically we help doctors and nurses do their jobs better. Like helping people. Exactly like helping people. That's good. Daddy always says the most important thing is to help people when you can. Olivia looked at Vincent over Emma's head. Your daddy is a smart man. He's the best daddy in the whole world, Emma said matter-of-factly, then returned her attention to the spaghetti she was carefully twirling on her fork. They lingered over dinner, letting Emma order gelato for dessert and taking their time with coffee. When they finally left, it was nearly 8:30. Emma was tired but happy, holding Vincent's hand and chattering about how nice Miss Olivia was. Olivia walked them to Vincent's truck in the parking lot. "Thank you for tonight. I had a wonderful time." "So did we. Thank you for dinner." "We should do it again. Soon." "I'd like that." They stood in the soft spring evening, the moment stretching between them. Emma was already in the truck, distracted by the small toy Olivia had bought her from the restaurant's gift shop. "Can I kiss you?" Vincent asked quietly. "I was hoping you would." He leaned in slowly, giving her time to change her mind, but she met him halfway. The kiss was soft, tentative, perfect. When they pulled apart, Olivia was smiling. "Definitely doing this again," she murmured. "Soon," Vincent confirmed. He drove home with Emma's happy chatter washing over him and the memory of Olivia's kiss lingering on his lips. Maybe, for the first time in 3 years, something good was happening. Maybe he deserved this. Maybe they both did. The next few weeks unfolded like a dream Vincent was afraid to wake from. He and Olivia texted constantly, long conversations that ranged from silly to serious. They went on 3 more dates, sometimes with Emma and sometimes without when Deanne could watch her. Each time, Vincent fell a little harder, a little deeper. Olivia was different than he expected. Away from her CEO persona, she was funny and warm, with a sharp wit and a genuine curiosity about everything. She asked him about his dreams, his childhood, his marriage to Sarah. She told him about growing up in San Francisco, about her demanding parents who wanted her to be a doctor, about building her company from scratch in her 20s. "Don't you ever feel the pressure?" Vincent asked one evening. They were walking along the river downtown, Emma running ahead to look at ducks. "Running a whole company, being responsible for all those employees? Every day," Olivia admitted. "But that's part of it. The pressure means it matters. If it was easy, everyone would do it." "I couldn't do it." "All those decisions, all those people depending on you. You do it every day. Emma depends on you completely and you never let her down. That's different." How? Vincent thought about it. Because loving her is easy. Being her dad is the simplest thing I've ever done, even when it's hard. "That's how I feel about my company. It's hard, but it's mine. I built it. I love it." They walked in comfortable silence for a while, watching Emma feed bread to the ducks. Finally, Vincent said, "I'm falling in love with you. I thought you should know." Olivia stopped walking. She turned to face him fully, her expression serious. "That's good, because I'm falling in love with you too. Even though I'm broke and drive a truck that's held together with rust and prayers. Even though, maybe because of, you're real, Vincent. You don't want anything from me except me. Do you know how rare that is in my world? I do want something from you." "What?" "More of this, more time, more conversations, more of you with Emma, more of us figuring out what this is." Olivia stepped closer, taking his hand. "You can have all of that, as much as you want." Emma ran back over, slightly out of breath. "The ducks ate all my bread. Can we get more?" "Sure, Munchkin." Vincent looked at Olivia. "Want to help us feed ducks? I can't think of anything I'd rather do." They bought more bread from a vendor and spent another hour at the river, the 3 of them together, feeding ducks and laughing and being something that looked remarkably like a family. Vincent let himself hope, let himself believe this could last. But reality had a way of reasserting itself, and it came crashing in on a Tuesday afternoon in late April. Vincent was repairing a deck when his phone rang. The school. His stomach dropped. "Mr. Reeves, this is Principal Morrison. Emma's fine, but we need you to come pick her up." "She's in my office." "What happened?" "Some boys were teasing her. It got a bit out of hand. She's not hurt, just upset. Can you come? I'll be right there." He left the deck half-finished, texted an apology to the client, and drove too fast to Emma's school. She was sitting in the principal's office with red eyes and a tear-stained face. Vincent's heart shattered. "Hey, Em, come here." She ran to him and he scooped her up, even though she was getting too big for it. "What happened?" "They said mean things," she whispered. Principal Morrison, a kind woman in her 50s, explained. Some of the boys heard Emma talking about her mother passing away. They said cruel things about her not having a mom. She pushed one of them. We've addressed it with all the children involved. Vincent felt rage burning in his chest, but he kept his voice calm for Emma's sake. Thank you for calling me. Can I take her home? Of course. In the truck, Emma cried in earnest. They said I was weird for not having a mom. They said something was wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with you. Those boys were being cruel, and what they said was absolutely not true. You hear me? I miss Mommy. I know, baby, I miss her too. I wish she was here. Vincent pulled over because he couldn't drive safely through his own tears. He held Emma while they both cried, missing Sarah with an intensity that felt fresh despite 3 years passing. When they finally got home, Deanne took one look at them and immediately started making hot chocolate. Emma curled up on the couch with a blanket, exhausted from crying. Vincent's phone buzzed. Olivia. How's your day going? He almost didn't respond, but he needed to talk to someone who wasn't his mother. He called her instead. Vincent, what's wrong? Just hearing her voice made him feel steadier. Bad day. Emma had a rough time at school. What happened? He told her, keeping his voice low so Emma wouldn't hear. Olivia listened without interrupting. That poor girl, she said when he finished. How is she now? Resting. But it brought up a lot of stuff about Sarah, and I just feel helpless. I can't protect her from everything. No parent can. But you're there for her. That's what matters. I don't know if I'm enough. Vincent, you're more than enough. Emma is loved, safe, and cared for. You've given her a good life despite tremendous loss. Don't let one bad day make you doubt that. He closed his eyes, gripping the phone tighter. Thank you, I needed to hear that. Do you want me to come over? I can bring dinner or just sit with you or whatever you need. You don't have to do that. I know I want to. Then yes, please come. Olivia arrived an hour later with bags from Emma's favorite Chinese restaurant and a stuffed dragon wearing a princess crown. Emma's face lit up when she saw it. Princess Sophia needs a dragon friend, Olivia explained. This is Ember. She's a reformed dragon who decided fighting was boring, and now she helps the princess with science experiments. Emma hugged the dragon, then hugged Olivia. Thank you, Miss Olivia. You're very welcome. And Emma, those boys who said mean things, they're wrong. There's nothing weird about you. You're smart and kind and creative, and anyone who can't see that isn't worth your tears. My daddy says my mommy would be proud of who I'm becoming. I'm sure she would be, and I'm proud of you too. Emma beamed, her earlier sadness not gone but diminished. They ate dinner together, the 4 of them crowded around Vincent's small kitchen table. Deanne watched Olivia with approval, occasionally catching Vincent's eye and nodding in a way that meant she endorsed this relationship wholeheartedly. After dinner, Olivia helped Emma with her homework while Vincent cleaned up. Deanne had retreated to her room, giving them space. He stood at the sink, watching through the doorway as Olivia patiently explained a math problem, her hand gently on Emma's shoulder, and felt overwhelmed by gratitude and love. Later, after Emma was in bed, Vincent and Olivia sat on his small back porch with mugs of tea. The night was cool but pleasant, spring fully asserting itself. Thank you for coming, Vincent said. You didn't have to. I wanted to be here for both of you. Emma adores you. The feeling is mutual. She's an incredible kid. Vincent set down his mug and turned to face her. This is getting serious. Us, this relationship. It is. That scares me. It scares me too, Olivia admitted. I've never been in a relationship with someone who has a child. I don't want to mess this up. You're not messing anything up. You're perfect with her. But what if I'm not enough? What if she needs a mother and I can't be that? Vincent took her hand. Olivia, you don't have to replace Sarah. Emma doesn't need you to be her mother. She needs you to be you, to care about her, which you already do, to be present, which you are. That's enough. Is it enough for you? What do you mean? Your life is complicated. You're a single father with a demanding job and a tight budget. I'm a CEO who travels constantly and works 60-hour weeks. How do we make this work long-term? Vincent had been wondering the same thing, but hearing her voice, it made his chest tighten with anxiety. Are you having second thoughts? No, but I'm trying to be realistic. I care about you and Emma so much. I don't want to hurt either of you. Then don't stay. Be with us. We'll figure out the logistics. What if I have to travel for a month? What if I miss important things? Then we'll video chat and we'll celebrate when you get back. Olivia, I'm not expecting perfection. I'm not expecting you to change your life. I just want you in mine. She leaned into him, resting her head on his shoulder. I want that too. I'm just scared of failing you. You couldn't. You're already more than I ever expected to have again. They sat together in the quiet night, holding each other, both scared and hopeful and in love. It wasn't perfect. But it was real. And that was more than enough. May brought warmth and longer days and a shift in their relationship. Olivia started spending more time at Vincent's small rental, cooking dinner with them, helping Emma with homework, being present in their daily lives. Vincent met Olivia's parents when they flew in from San Francisco, a nerve-wracking dinner that went better than expected once her mother realized how much her daughter smiled around him. He's good for you, her mother had told Olivia, not quietly enough. You seem happy. I am happy, Olivia had replied, catching Vincent's eye across the table. Work was still a constant struggle. Vincent took every job he could find, slowly building a reputation as the guy who could fix anything. Word of mouth brought more clients, and his phone rang regularly with requests. It still wasn't enough. The truck needed repairs he couldn't afford, Emma needed summer camp fees, the landlord wanted to raise rent. He didn't tell Olivia most of it. She had offered to help multiple times, and each time his pride had made him refuse. He couldn't be a kept man. Couldn't take money from the woman he loved like some kind of charity case. But the pressure was mounting. It came to a head on a Saturday in early June. Vincent was replacing a toilet at a client's house when his truck finally gave up. The engine made a terrible grinding noise, shuddered, and died. He had it towed to a mechanic who delivered the bad news, $1,800 in repairs, and that was the cheap option. Or I could give you $500 for it as scrap, the mechanic offered. Not worth fixing at this point, to be honest. Vincent stood in the garage, staring at the truck that had carried him through the last 8 years, and felt defeated. Without the truck, he couldn't work. Without work, he couldn't pay rent. Everything was unraveling. He called Olivia because he didn't know who else to talk to. The truck's dead, completely, and I don't have $1,800 to fix it. Come to my house. Right now, I'll pick you up. Olivia, I can't keep asking you to rescue me. You didn't ask, I offered. Big difference. And you're not getting rescued. You're accepting help from someone who loves you. Now stop arguing and tell me where you are. She picked him up 20 minutes later. Vincent got in her Tesla feeling like a failure, and Olivia must have sensed it because she didn't try to make conversation. She just drove, taking them not to her house but to a small park by the river where they had walked with Emma. Talk to me, she said once they were parked. I can't do this anymore. I'm working myself to death and still falling behind. The truck was my last straw. Without it, I can't work. Without work, I lose the house. If I lose the house, where does Emma go? What kind of father can't even keep a roof over his daughter's head? A father dealing with impossible circumstances. Vincent, you're not failing. The system is failing you. That doesn't help me fix my truck. So let me buy you a new one. Absolutely not. Why not? Because I can't take that much money from you, because it changes everything between us, because I need to stand on my own 2 feet. Olivia's voice remained calm, reasonable. Would you let your mother help you if she had the money? That's different. How? Because she's family. And what am I? Vincent looked at her, this brilliant, beautiful woman who had somehow chosen him. You're the woman I love, the woman I want to build a life with, but I can't build that life on your money. It's not about money. It's about partnership. Relationships are about helping each other. But the help only flows one way. What do I give you? What do I contribute? Olivia reached over and took his hand. You give me everything that matters. You make me laugh. You make me think about what's important. You've introduced me to Emma, who I love like she's my own. You make me want to leave work early just to have dinner with you. You've made me happier than I've been in years. That's what you contribute. That's not the same as $1,800. No, it's worth infinitely more. Vincent closed his eyes. Every fiber of his being wanted to refuse to maintain his independence. But he was tired. So tired of struggling, of barely keeping his head above water, of working himself into exhaustion and still coming up short. If I say yes, he said quietly, it's a loan. I pay you back. Fine, a loan, no interest, payment plan whenever you can afford it. I'm serious, Olivia. So am I. Let me do this, please. Not because you need rescuing, but because I care about you and I have the resources to help. He opened his eyes. I'll pay you back. I know you will. Now let's go buy you a truck. They spent the afternoon at dealerships. Olivia insisted on something reliable, safe, and practical for his work. They settled on a 3-year-old Ford pickup with reasonable mileage, and Olivia paid cash without blinking. Vincent felt a complex mix of gratitude and shame watching her hand over the money. Stop it, she said when they were driving back in his new truck, Olivia following behind in her Tesla. I can see you spiraling. This is a good thing. Accept it. I'm trying. Try harder. Emma needs you working. You can't work without a truck. I had money for a truck. Problem solved. Don't make it more complicated than that. He wanted to argue, but she was right. Sometimes accepting help was the mature thing to do, even when pride wanted to refuse it. They picked up Emma from Deanne's house, and Emma was thrilled about the new truck, climbing in and exploring every feature with 7-year-old enthusiasm. Olivia stayed for dinner, and they didn't talk about money or loans or pride. They just were, the three of them, a family in all but legal definition. That night, after Emma was asleep, Vincent and Olivia sat in the new truck in her driveway, reluctant to part. Move in with me, Olivia said suddenly. Vincent's head whipped around. What? You and Emma. Move into my house. I have 5 bedrooms. Emma could have her own space. Deanne too, if she wants. You'd save on rent. Emma would be in a better school district. It makes sense. Olivia, that's huge. I know, but I want you there. I want to wake up with you. I want to have breakfast with Emma every morning. I want us to be a real family. We barely been dating 4 months. I know, it's fast, but I'm 31 years old. I've dated enough to know when something is right. This is right. You're right. Tell me you don't feel the same. He couldn't because she was right. I do feel the same, but this is a big step. So we'll take it together, or we won't. I'm not going to pressure you, but the offer stands. Vincent thought about his cramped rental, about Emma sharing a room with Deanne, about the landlord who wanted to raise rent. He thought about Olivia's beautiful house with space for everyone. He thought about being with her every day, building a life together properly. Can I think about it? Talk to Emma and my mom? Of course. Take all the time you need. He kissed her long and deep, trying to convey everything he felt. When they broke apart, Olivia was smiling. I love you, she whispered. I love you too. The conversation with Emma and Deanne happened the next morning over pancakes. Miss Olivia asked if we want to move into her house, Vincent said without preamble. Emma dropped her fork. Really? The big house with the pool? It has a pool, Vincent asked. In the backyard, Deanne supplied. I looked up the property listings when you started dating. 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, finished basement, pool, 2-car garage. It's a beautiful house. You looked up property listings? I was being thorough. So is this a moving in situation or a getting married situation? Mom, we've only been dating a few months. So, when you know, I knew I was going to marry your father after 3 weeks. We had 40 wonderful years before he passed. I remember, but this is different. How? Emma was watching the conversation like a tennis match. Finally, she said, do you love Miss Olivia? Yes. Does she love you? Yes. Does she love me? Very much. Then why wouldn't we live with her? We'd be a family. The simple logic of a 7-year-old cut through all his complicated adult anxieties. You want to move? Yes. Can I have my own room? Can we swim in the pool? You'd have to change schools, leave your friends. Emma bit her lip, thinking hard. That would be sad, but I could make new friends, and we'd be with Miss Olivia every day. That seems better. Vincent looked at his mother. What do you think? I think you're overthinking this. That woman loves you. She loves Emma. She's offering you a chance at a better life. Take it. You'd really move too. If you want me there, or I could get my own place nearby, give you 3 space to be a family. I don't want you to leave, Emma said immediately. Your family too. Deanne's eyes watered. Then I'll stay. Someone needs to keep you all in line. Vincent felt something loosening in his chest, some tight anxiety finally releasing. Okay, we'll do it. We'll move in with Olivia. Emma cheered. Deanne smiled. And Vincent pulled out his phone to call the woman he loved and tell her yes. The move happened over 3 weeks in late June. Olivia hired movers for the heavy items, though Vincent insisted on packing himself. Emma was overjoyed about her new room, which Olivia let her decorate however she wanted. They painted it purple with silver stars, and Emma said it looked like a fairy tale. Deanne took a bedroom on the first floor, claiming her knees were too old for stairs, though Vincent suspected she wanted to give them privacy. Olivia's master suite was on the second floor, and after some discussion, Vincent moved his things in there. It felt momentous, this blending of their lives. The first morning waking up in Olivia's house, Vincent lay next to her and watched the sunrise through the large windows. Olivia stirred, turned toward him, smiled that sleepy smile he was learning to love. Good morning, she murmured. Good morning. I can't believe we live here now. Believe it, this is real, we're real. I feel like I'm going to wake up and this will all be a dream. Not a dream, just life getting better. She kissed him softly. I need to tell you something. His stomach dropped. That sounds ominous. It's not bad. At least I hope you won't think it's bad. She sat up, suddenly looking nervous. I've been offered a promotion, Chief Operating Officer for the parent company. It's huge. More money, more responsibility, more prestige. Olivia, that's amazing. Congratulations. Wait, there's more. The position is based in Seattle. I'd have to relocate. Vincent's joy evaporated. Seattle, as in across the country Seattle. Yes, but I can negotiate remote work for part of the time, and I'd set it up so I'm only on site 2 weeks a month. The rest I could work from home. That's still a lot of travel. I know, and if you don't want me to take it, I won't. You and Emma are more important than any job. I can't ask you to give up your career for me. You're not asking, I'm offering. I need to know what works for our family, our family. The phrase made Vincent's chest tight. Does the job make you happy? It would be an incredible opportunity. That's not what I asked, Olivia sighed. I don't know, part of me is excited, part of me is terrified of being away from you and Emma so much. What if we moved with you? To Seattle? Why not? There's handyman work there. Emma's young enough that changing schools wouldn't be terrible. We could start fresh together. Vincent, you have your whole life here, your clients, your network, your mom's friends. My whole life is sitting right here. He took her hand. You and Emma, that's what matters. The rest is just details. Are you sure? No, but I'm willing to try if you are. Olivia kissed him, deep and grateful. Let me negotiate the terms first. Maybe I can get them to agree to 1 week a month instead of 2. Or a delayed start so we have time to plan. I don't want to rush this. Take the job, Vincent said firmly. We'll figure out the rest together. Over the next few weeks, they settled into a rhythm. Vincent continued his handyman work, now with the stability of a reliable truck and a home address in a good neighborhood. His reputation grew. He was getting calls from all over the city, and he was able to be more selective about jobs. Olivia negotiated her new position to start in October, with her physical presence required in Seattle 1 week per month. The company agreed to let her work remotely the rest of the time. It wasn't perfect, but it was workable. Emma thrived in her new environment. She made friends with neighbor kids and spent her summer swimming in the pool, having adventures being a kid. Deanne settled into her own routine, joining a local book club and volunteering at the library. The house felt full, alive, happy. In August, on a warm Saturday afternoon, Vincent was in the garage building a bookshelf for Emma's room. It was his first woodworking project in years, and his hands remembered the motions with ease. Olivia found him there, watching him work. "That's beautiful," she said. "It's just a bookshelf." "It's more than that. You're creating something. You look happy." He set down the sander and pulled her close. "I am happy, happier than I thought I'd ever be again after Sarah died. She'd be glad you found someone." "How do you know?" "Because she loved you. And people who love you want you to be happy." Vincent kissed her forehead. "I want to marry you." Olivia pulled back to look at him. "What?" "I want to marry you. I want to make this official, permanent. I want Emma to have the stability of a real family. I want to wake up next to you for the rest of my life. I don't have a ring, and this is possibly the least romantic proposal ever, but I love you and I want to marry you." Olivia's eyes filled with tears. "You're sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything." "Then yes. Absolutely yes." They held each other in the garage, surrounded by sawdust and half-built furniture, and Vincent felt complete for the first time in years. He had a family again, a future, hope. Emma was thrilled when they told her. "Does this mean Miss Olivia will be my mom?" Vincent glanced at Olivia, unsure how to answer. Olivia knelt down to Emma's level. "I will never replace your mother," she said gently. "Your mom will always be your mom, and she loved you so much. But if you want, I can be your stepmom. I'll love you and take care of you and be here for you." "Would that be okay?" Emma thought about it seriously, then nodded. "Can I call you Mom Olivia? You can call me whatever feels right to you." "Okay, Mom Olivia." Emma tested the words, then smiled. "I like it." They planned a small wedding for October, right before Olivia's new position started. Just family and close friends, a simple ceremony in the backyard. Nothing fancy, nothing extravagant. Just a celebration of love and commitment. Vincent's mother helped with planning, delighted to be involved. Emma was the flower girl, taking her role very seriously. They practiced walking down the makeshift aisle 50 times until Emma had it perfect. The wedding day was sunny and perfect. Vincent stood under an arch decorated with flowers, watching Olivia walk toward him in a simple white dress, and felt overwhelmed with gratitude. She was beautiful and brilliant, and somehow choosing him. The ceremony was short. They exchanged vows they had written themselves. Vincent promised to support her dreams, to be her partner, to love Emma together. Olivia promised to be present, to prioritize family, to love him and Emma with her whole heart. When the officiant pronounced them married, Emma cheered louder than anyone. They kissed, and Vincent felt like everything had finally fallen into place. The reception was casual, catered food and a playlist instead of a DJ. They danced in the backyard, Emma spinning between them, everyone laughing. Vincent's old boss from the furniture company came, several of his regular clients, Olivia's team from work, people who mattered, celebrating with them. Late in the evening, when Emma was asleep inside and the guests had gone home, Vincent and Olivia slow danced under string lights, tired and happy. "How are you feeling, Mrs. Reeves?" Vincent asked, like the luckiest woman alive. "How about you, Mr. Reeves?" "The same." "I keep thinking about that first morning I cleared your driveway, how I had no idea that simple act would lead here." "I knew," Olivia said. "Maybe not consciously, but something in me recognized you, recognized that you were important. I love you so much. I love you too, forever." They swayed together, the night cooling around them, and Vincent thought about second chances and unexpected love, and how sometimes life surprised you in the best possible way. October arrived, and with it came change. Olivia started her new position, traveling to Seattle for her first week. The house felt different without her, quieter. Emma moped the first few days, missing her stepmom. Vincent kept them busy with activities and video calls, but he missed Olivia with an intensity that surprised him. When she returned Friday evening, Emma ran to the door and threw herself into Olivia's arms. "I missed you so much." "I missed you too, sweetheart, but look, I'm home now." They settled into a new rhythm. 3 weeks with Olivia home, working from her office upstairs. 1 week with her in Seattle, and they adapted with video calls and messages and counting down until her return. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. Vincent's business continued growing. By November, he was fielding so many calls that he couldn't take them all. He mentioned it to Olivia one evening. "You need to hire help," she said. "Build an actual company. With what money? You have money. You've been working constantly for 6 months, and if you need more to get started, we can make it work. I don't want to take on debt. It's not debt if it's an investment in your future. Vincent, you're skilled enough to run a real business. Stop thinking small." He considered it. The idea was terrifying and exciting in equal measure. "I wouldn't even know where to start." "Start by hiring one person to help with jobs. See how it goes. If it works, hire another. Grow slowly." "You make it sound simple." "It won't be simple, but it will be worth it." She was right. Vincent hired a young guy named Marcus who was eager to learn and willing to work hard. They worked together for a month, and Vincent was impressed. Marcus was reliable, skilled, good with clients. So Vincent hired a second person, then bought a second truck. By January, he had a crew of 4 and more work than they could handle. He registered the business officially, got insurance, created a website. Reeves Home Services became a real company, and Vincent was the owner. "I couldn't have done this without you," he told Olivia one night. "Yes, you could have. You just needed someone to believe in you first. Still, thank you for everything." That's what partners do. Life settled into a beautiful routine. Work was busy but manageable. Emma thrived in school. Deanne joined a seniors hiking group and was out most weekends. Olivia balanced her demanding job with being present for their family, and she did it with grace. In March, over a year after Vincent had first cleared Olivia's driveway, they got unexpected news. Olivia was pregnant. They hadn't been trying, but they hadn't been preventing either. Vincent stared at the positive test, shocked and elated. "Are you happy?" Olivia asked nervously. "Happy, I'm thrilled. Are you happy?" Terrified and thrilled in equal measure. Emma was overjoyed at the prospect of a sibling. She immediately started planning, deciding the baby needed a yellow room because yellow was a happy color. Deanne cried and said she was getting another grandchild to spoil. The pregnancy was smooth. Olivia worked through it, taking video calls from the couch when morning sickness was bad, traveling to Seattle less frequently. Vincent was attentive and protective, maybe overly so, but Olivia tolerated his hovering with patience. In November, almost exactly 2 years after they met, Olivia gave birth to a healthy baby boy. They named him Thomas Vincent Reeves, and Vincent held his son with tears streaming down his face, overwhelmed by love and gratitude. Emma was a natural big sister, gentle and helpful. She read to Thomas, helped with diaper changes, sang him songs. Deanne was in grandmother heaven with a baby in the house again, and Vincent and Olivia navigated new parenthood together, exhausted but happy. One evening, when Thomas was 2 months old, Vincent found Olivia in the nursery rocking their son. He stood in the doorway, watching his wife and child, and felt complete. "What are you thinking about?" Olivia asked softly. "How lucky I am. How my life turned around because I decided to clear snow from a stranger's driveway. I'm the lucky one. I found a good man who loves me for who I am, not what I have. We're both lucky." "Yeah, we really are." Thomas made a small noise, and Olivia smiled down at him. Emma appeared beside Vincent, rubbing her eyes sleepily. "Is Thomas okay?" "He's perfect," Olivia said. "Come here, sweetheart." Emma climbed into the rocking chair with Olivia carefully, and they sat together, the 3 of them, a picture of contentment. Vincent's heart felt too full for his chest. This was what mattered. Not money or status or perfect circumstances, just love, just family, just being together. Vincent's business continued thriving. By the time Thomas was 6 months old, Reeves Home Services had 8 employees and a growing reputation. Vincent was making good money, enough that Olivia joked he might out-earn her soon. He didn't think that was likely, but it felt good to contribute equally. Emma turned 9, then 10. She was smart and kind, excelling in school, writing stories that Olivia helped her polish. She adored her baby brother, patient with his toddler antics. Vincent watched her grow and saw both Sarah and himself in her, a perfect blend of who they had been. Thomas grew from baby to toddler, energetic and curious about everything. He followed Vincent around like a shadow, wanting to help with everything. Vincent made him a toy toolbox, and Thomas carried it everywhere, fixing things with serious concentration. Olivia's career continued its upward trajectory. She was promoted again, this time to CEO of the entire parent company. It meant more money, more responsibility, but also more flexibility. She negotiated a deal that let her work primarily from home, traveling only for critical meetings. Family came first, she told the board. They could take it or leave it. They took it. One evening in late spring, 3 years after their wedding, Vincent and Olivia sat on the back porch watching Emma and Thomas play in the yard. Deanne was inside making dinner. Life felt peaceful, settled, good. "Do you ever think about where we'd be if you hadn't cleared my driveway that morning?" Olivia asked. "Sometimes. I'd probably still be struggling, still barely getting by. I'd probably still be alone, working too much, wondering if I'd ever find someone real. We found each other. That's what matters. Do you think Sarah would approve of us?" Vincent thought about his late wife, about her kindness and her love for Emma. "Yeah, I do. She always wanted me to be happy. She'd be glad Emma has you as a stepmom. She'd probably really like you." "I wish I could have met her." "Me too." They sat in comfortable silence, holding hands, watching their children play. Emma was teaching Thomas how to do a cartwheel, both of them laughing when he toppled over. "I want another one," Olivia said suddenly. "Another cartwheel? Another baby." Vincent turned to look at her. "Really? Really? Thomas is almost 2, Emma's 10, I want one more, round out the family. You're sure? Your career is at a critical point." "My career will always be there. Babies won't. What do you think?" Vincent thought about sleepless nights and diapers and the chaos of a newborn. Then he thought about Thomas's first smile, his first steps, the way he said "Dada" with such joy. He thought about getting to experience all of that again. "Let's do it," he said. Olivia kissed him, happy and excited. "I love you." "I love you too." 8 months later, Olivia gave birth to a baby girl. They named her Sarah after Vincent's first wife, and it felt right. Emma cried when they told her the name, saying it was perfect. Deanne held baby Sarah and said she looked just like her namesake. Vincent held his daughter, this tiny person who had his late wife's name and his current wife's eyes, and felt the past and present connecting in the most beautiful way. Sarah would have loved this. Would have loved seeing him happy, seeing Emma thriving, seeing their family expand. Life became wonderfully chaotic. 3 kids, 2 businesses, a marriage that required work but was deeply rewarding. They hired a part-time nanny to help, which Vincent initially resisted but Olivia insisted on. Having help meant more time together as a family, which was worth any cost. Emma entered middle school, navigating those difficult years with grace. Thomas started preschool, making friends and learning letters. Baby Sarah grew, hitting milestones right on schedule. Deanne remained a constant presence, helping where needed, loving them all fiercely. Vincent's business expanded beyond residential handyman work into small construction projects. He hired a manager to handle day-to-day operations, which freed him up to be more present at home. He coached Thomas's soccer team, attended every one of Emma's school plays, spent mornings with Sarah before work. He had become the father he always wanted to be. Olivia balanced her demanding career with being an involved mother. She never missed important events. She was there for homework help, bedtime stories, family dinners. She traveled less, delegated more, and made it clear to everyone that her family was her priority. They weren't perfect. They argued about money sometimes, about parenting decisions, about whose turn it was to handle the 3 a.m. wake-up. But they worked through it. They communicated. They loved each other fiercely. On their 5th wedding anniversary, Vincent surprised Olivia with a weekend away, just the 2 of them. Deanne watched the kids, insisting they needed time alone. They went to a bed and breakfast 2 hours away, nothing fancy, just quiet and private. 5 years, Olivia said as they sat on the porch of their cabin. Feels longer in the best way, like we've been together forever. Like you've always been part of my life. Vincent pulled her close. Thank you. For what? For taking a chance on a broke handyman with a daughter and more baggage than sense. For believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. For giving me this life. You gave me this life too. Before you, I was successful but empty. Now I have everything that matters. They made love slowly, tenderly, celebrating 5 years of partnership and love. Afterward, lying tangled together, Vincent felt profoundly grateful. What are you thinking? Olivia asked. That I cleared your driveway on the luckiest day of my life. I saw you from my window that morning, before I came out. I watched you work and thought you looked like someone I should know. Really, really. Something about you caught my attention, maybe it was fate. I don't believe in fate. What do you believe in? Choice. We chose each other, we keep choosing each other, that's better than fate. Olivia kissed him. I'll keep choosing you every single day. Forever, forever. They returned home to chaos and laughter and their 3 beautiful children. Emma showed them a short story she had written. Thomas demonstrated his new karate moves. Baby Sarah took her first steps, and they all celebrated like it was the most important thing in the world, because it was. Years passed. Emma graduated high school, got accepted to a good college for creative writing. Vincent cried at her graduation, remembering the scared little 4-year-old who had lost her mother, seeing the confident young woman she had become. Olivia cried too, proud of the stepdaughter she loved like her own. Thomas grew into a good kid, athletic and social, always surrounded by friends. He wanted to be an engineer, fascinated by how things worked. Vincent taught him carpentry in the garage, and they built projects together, talking about life and school and everything. Sarah was creative and dramatic, singing and dancing constantly, bringing joy wherever she went. She was the perfect combination of Vincent and Olivia, with his practical nature and her fierce determination. Vincent's business became one of the most reputable in the city. Reeves Home Services had 20 employees, multiple crews, and a waiting list. Vincent barely did physical labor anymore, focusing instead on management and customer relations. But he still kept his tools, still built furniture in the garage, still remembered where he came from. Olivia's career reached heights she had never imagined. Her company went public, making her wealthy beyond measure, but she remained grounded, focused on what mattered. She established a scholarship fund for single parents, remembering Vincent's struggles. She mentored young women in tech. She gave back. Deanne lived to see all 3 kids grow, healthy and sharp until the end. When she passed at 78, surrounded by family, Vincent held her hand and thanked her for everything. For moving in when he needed help, for accepting Olivia, for loving their family so completely. She had been the glue holding them together in those early days. On their 10th wedding anniversary, Vincent and Olivia renewed their vows in the same backyard where they had married. Emma, Thomas, and Sarah stood with them, a family united. Friends and colleagues filled the yard, celebrating a marriage that had started improbably and flourished beautifully. 10 years ago, I was alone and you were struggling, Olivia said in her vows. Now we have everything. 3 incredible children, successful careers, a home filled with love. You are my partner, my best friend, my great love. Here's to 10 more years and 50 after that. Vincent's vows were simpler. You saw me when I was invisible. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. You took a chance on a man with nothing to offer but love, and you made that enough. Thank you for every day. Thank you for our family. Thank you for choosing me. They kissed while their children cheered, and Vincent thought about that snowy morning years ago when he had cleared a stranger's driveway hoping for $30. He had gained so much more. A wife, a family, a life he had never dreamed possible. That evening, after the guests left and the kids were asleep, Vincent and Olivia walked through their house. Emma's room, filled with books and writing awards. Thomas's room, covered in sports posters and engineering magazines. Sarah's room, bursting with art supplies and costumes. Their master bedroom where they ended every day together. "We built something good," Vincent said. "We did, and we're not done yet. More kids? God, no. 3 is perfect. I meant more life, more adventures, more years of this." I like the sound of that. They stood at the window overlooking the backyard, the same yard where Vincent had once cleared snow before dawn, where they had married, where their children played. Full circle. "Do you remember what you told me that first day?" Olivia asked. "When I asked why you cleared snow for strangers, I said people with important jobs needed to get to work. You saw everyone else as important, everyone except yourself. I know better now. Good, because you're the most important person in my world, you and our kids." Vincent wrapped his arms around his wife, his partner, his great unexpected love, and looked out at the life they had built together. It wasn't perfect. It had required work and compromise and patience. But it was real, and it was theirs, and it was enough, more than enough. It was everything. The snow fell softly outside, the first of the season, and Vincent smiled. He had come so far from that desperate morning years ago, from struggling to thriving, from alone to surrounded by love, from surviving to truly living. All because he had cleared a driveway at dawn, not knowing the woman inside would become his whole world. "I love you," he whispered to Olivia. "I love you too, forever." And forever stretched out before them, bright and promising and full of possibility. Their story, which had started so improbably, had become something beautiful. A testament to second chances and unexpected love and the magic that happens when 2 people choose each other every single day. This was their happily ever after. Hard-won, deeply cherished, absolutely real. And it was perfect,